This is the best of Friday Night Football Fever, a look back at the exciting 1998 season. Now, here is your host, Jeff Shearer.
And welcome once again to our Best of Friday Night Football Fever special. Jeff Shearer joined tonight in the skybox by my good friends Todd Rossnagel and Lee Zurich. And over the course of the next 30 minutes, we will take a look back at some of the zany moments that occurred on Friday Night Football Fever this year. And we'll meet the Ross Award winner of the year. But first, let's meet the best of the All-Fever team, Lee.
Yeah, last year's All-Fever quarterback was Gabe Gross. Of course, he started for Auburn in this year's Iron Bowl. So could there be any future college football stars on this year's team? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But without further ado, let's take a look at this year's All-Fever team selected by the coaches. Stanhope Elmore quarterback J.P. Holly leads our All-Fever team. Holly threw for more than 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns this season for the Mustangs. It was a tight race at running back. How tight? Well, we had a tie, so three backs made our All-Fever team. Robert E. Lee's Eric Bradford, St. Jude's Reginald Fowler, and Brantley's Bo Daniels. He rushed for 2,040 yards and 22 touchdowns for the state champs. He also had 9 sacks on defense. On to the receivers, the coaches selected Alabama Christian's Brett Botsford and downtown Eric Brown of Stanhope Elmore. Brown caught 33 balls for 734 yards and 9 touchdowns. For the second year in a row, Jeff Davis tight end Robert Johnson is an All-Fever selection. Johnson has verbally committed to play for Auburn. Let's take a look at the offensive line. It's made up of Trinity's Ryan Ray, Lee's Adam Lavender, Big St. Jude tackle Manrico Crittenden, Artavius Williams of Lanier, and John Duckwood of Opelika. Now on to the defense. The line is made up of Daniel Green of Verbena, Luke Hammond of Wetumpka, Lee's Joe Vaughn, and Daryl Pollard of Stanhope Elmore. Opelika's LaMarcus Rowell is one linebacker. Spence McCracken says Rowell is the best linebacker he's ever coached. And guess what? He's just a sophomore. Brett Edens of Trinity and Anton Palmer of Highland Home complete our linebacking group. Palmer is also a repeat All-Fever selection. On to the defensive backfield. Montgomery Academy's Seth Tatum leads our group. He had 62 tackles and 5 interceptions and was also a pretty good running back. He rushed for more than 1,200 yards and 12 scores. Tatum's joined by Jeff Stanton of Jeff Davis, Corey Larkins of Opelika, and Travis Bozeman of Wetumpka. Our kicker is Michael Rich of St. James. He booted a 51-yard field goal this season. Another Trojan made our special teams group. The coaches selected Stephen Woodham as the All-Fever return specialist. And the coach of the year is Brantley's Roland Jones. He led the Bulldogs to the state 1A championship.
And what a way for Roland Jones to go out his last year as a head coach, and he's bringing home that big trophy from up at Legion Field. Congratulations to Roland Jones. Congratulations to all the All-Fever team members. Lee, you counted the ballots. Was it pretty tight?
It was tight. I mean, running back, we had a tie, so we had to pick 3 running backs, defensive line, linebacker, some close positions. Definitely a lot of guys out there. So many good running backs, for example. So many guys that could have made this team, just not enough spaces for them, really.
Maybe next year we could do a All-Fever first team and an All-Fever second team.
Really, and third team, and still have plenty of good players left.
Well, we mentioned Gabe Gross. Here's a guy playing high school football last year, and then the very next year he's starting in the Auburn-Alabama game. So it doesn't take long. 1 minute you're playing high school ball, and the next minute you're playing college ball. I'm waiting for our first All-Fever team member to be playing on Sundays.
It will happen soon, probably.
Probably about, what, 2001 maybe?
Yeah, something like that. All right.
Okay, that's the All-Fever team, the second annual. Congratulations to everyone who made it. When we come up next, we'll be joined by Todd Rossnagel. And did you have some bull for us? What's going on here?
Yeah, I was in a pasture with a bull just a few days ago.
And what does that have to do with the Ross?
It's crazy. You're gonna see it coming up a little bit later. We saw all those players that made the All-Fever team. A lot of great players, but who had the best hit of the year? We'll hand out the second annual Ross Award. It's all coming up. Those of you who have diligently watched the Fever over the last 2 years are familiar with the Ross Award, handed out every week to the best hit of the night in the eyes of myself. At the end of the year, we're going to single out the very best. Which one is it? Well, it was a really, really, really tough decision. There's a lot of players out there. A lot of players made some big hits. So I decided to throw it into the hands of a 3-year-old. A 3-year-old who just happens to weigh 1,200 pounds and has nostrils bigger than my fist. Let's take a look. All righty, welcome to North Prattville. My name is Todd, and you are?
Clyde Shearer.
How you doing, Clyde?
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you this afternoon. And this would be?
Believe it or not, Ross.
Ross. Wow, what exactly is Ross?
Ross is a registered Brangus bull from South Montgomery County.
Wow, a bull named Ross. Absolutely fantastic. Without further ado, Ross, guess what, big guy? Today's your lucky day. I'm going to let you decide the Ross of the year. I'm going to play for you all of the hits from this past football season. Whichever one you like the best, feel free to go nuts, baby. Kick it! Ross! 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 Fenton becomes a Fenton himself. It's Charles. Hey, Ross! Over here, man. Come on. Don't be slacking on me. Ross! How about a little popcorn for your television viewing experience? There you go. How about it? Get yourself a little popcorn. Whoa, all righty. Nathan Dillard, he's going to pick off this pass, and ladies and gentlemen, watch this. Ross! There you go. How about that hit? Ross! Ross, I can't thank you enough. I can't agree with you more. That was certainly, without a doubt, the greatest Ross of the year. On behalf of myself and the entire WSFA Friday Night Football Fever crew, I'd like to present to you a nice range pellet. There you go. Come on now. Easy. It's no popcorn. That's good, solid stuff right there. There you go. Thanks a lot, Ross. I'm heading out of here before you kill me. Appreciate it. While Ross walks home with a nice solid range pellet, we're handing out the second annual Ross Award, and that's going to my good friend here sitting on my right, Nathan Dillard. Nathan, congratulations. You're still alive. You're the recipient of one of the biggest hits of the year. You're from our area. We didn't give it out to the guy who hit you because, quite frankly, I don't know his name. He's from Paramount, and, you know, of course, that's way up there, almost towards Mississippi. But you were on the receiving end of such an incredible hit. Were you hurt from that hit or what?
No, sir.
How did it feel when you got hit that hard?
It didn't feel that bad because I'm used to it because Robert Johnson and Anthony are hitting me every day.
There you go. I'm also joined by his coach, Claude Gibbons. And, Coach, what is this guy like? I mean, he's small, but you were telling me before we went on the air that he is incredibly strong.
Yes, Todd. Nathan is a two-time state champion in his weight division at the Daleville Power Meet. He won it as an 8th grader, and he won it as a 9th grader last year. And we're hoping he can go back this year and win it again as a 10th grader. He's right. He takes some big hits every day at practice. Nathan's a great guy to coach and a pleasure to be around.
Well, Nathan, congratulations again. Have fun this upcoming season, and hopefully you'll be on the other end of the hits. Maybe you're going to be dueling out some Rosses this coming year.
I hope so.
Congratulations, my friend. We still have much more coming up here on the Best of Friday Night Football Fever. As you well know, the three of us are always up to something. We're going to have that coming up next. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our Best of the Fever show. When you hang out with these two guys, you're liable to see anything, and that's what we got this year. Let's take a look back at some of the big hits and some of those zany, crazy moments that we see every week on Friday Night Football Fever. Take a look.
I can't believe I'm doing this, but you roll. So I'm just going to roll down this hill.
Oh, yeah, baby! Rolling.
Woo! Woo!
Did I mention the Poets can play defense too? Ouch! Number 58, Frank Taylor. A big stick reminds me of Lawrence Taylor.
But watch the ref. He is taken out there. Spotlight slow-mo cam right there showing you the ref getting taken out.
Fever freelance photographer Tim Sutton. Rule number 1. Whoa! Tim Camps.
Dake Asenki, a little pirouette move. Can you say pirouette on the Fever? I don't know.
I'm so glad I went to Colorado.
Oh, lovely.
Hey, Junior, check it out. Check it out. Junior, check it out. What? Check it out. Fever crew. Yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, hey, how you doing?
It's hot, it's hot, it's hot out here. There must be a fever in the atmosphere.
Cougars driving again. Watch this catch by number 5, Elliott Hall. One-handed grab, amazing. How did he catch that? Upside down?
Release the hounds! What time does that fever show come on? I gotta get out of here. This is ridiculous.
Look out, Tim Kim. Whoa.
Play of the night, not even on the football field. Look at this flip by this girl right here. Barely, I was going to say cheerleader, probably a future cheerleader.
As far as the Paramount fans, well, apparently the bus left a few hole.
They go for 2. Another big hit right there.
St. James quarterback Lee Murphy. Ross! Oh, yeah, that's impressive. That's Anton Palmer. Oh, Ross! That's so good, it's sickening.
You know when the spotlight slow-mo cams comes out, they're going to have a big hit. Watch right there, West Robinson of Greenville lay it on Adam Chandler.
And watch what happens. Greg gets crushed by Heath Barron. If you think that hit was bad, watch number 7 for Lee. Hits the little guy on the sidelines. Now, he was okay, don't worry. A musically talented man, I think we're about to find out. Todd Rostingle. Todd, what's going on?
That was horrible, Jeff.
Absolutely horrible.
He's coming right at us, right at videographer John Dean. John, watch out! Ouch!
Look out, big fella. Fever freelance photographer Tim Sutton and his favorite little puppy. Whoa!
Needless to say, the Lee defense was steaming mad. Get that now? I cracked myself up.
To be honest with you, Jeff, I don't know what these are the highlights of, but these are not the ones we have.
Sometimes it gets out of hand. Todd, does the Wiregrass Bureau have any message you'd like to give to Lee tonight?
Jeff, we don't have time to get into it. Let's go straight to the highlights.
We interrupt this fever to bring you one quick non-fever note. Mark McGuire, number 64 tonight in Milwaukee. First time we have ever had a Big Mac attack on the fever.
It's got to be Ross of the Year. Jeff, what do you think?
I don't know. Why don't you ask your fiance? She's right behind you.
Oh, my God. Babe, what's up?
Nothing.
I can't believe this, ladies and gentlemen. I knew I was in for a surprise. This is unbelievable.
And that was the ultimate Ross, I think.
Yeah, it was.
What did you think when you turned around and you saw your fiance there?
Well, I'm about to share something with all of you and all of the listening audience. There's a guy that helps us out every Friday night. His name is Eddie Lucky. And when you said that my fiance was standing behind me, I honestly thought that Eddie was dressed up as a woman. I thought something was going on. I had no idea that Jen would come all the way from New Orleans. She never comes up because she's always studying. And so she finally came up on the last fever to make it a big surprise for me. And it was quite a treat.
Now, we do some crazy stuff on the fever, but cross-dressing is not one of them.
No, it's not. And Eddie's probably going to kill me for even mentioning his name with cross-dressing. But I thought something wacky like that was going on behind me. Had no idea that Jen was here.
Well, what I was getting at that one time is one of the highlights for me on the fever is after the fever. These two guys usually travel about an hour away, and as they're driving back to WSFA, they're talking on their two-way radios, and they cut up all night long. It's hilarious. They argue over who had better highlights or who got a free Coke at the game. They're constantly going at each other. So I tried to let the viewers in on that. And that's when Todd blew me off.
Well, I was nice to you that night.
Yeah.
I talked to you about it.
You were nice to me.
Thank you.
So I wanted to go to Todd and say, you know, what do you think about this whole rivalry? Jeff, we don't have time for this right now.
High classified information, my friend.
I told you guys later, I said, I haven't been blown off that much since I tried to get a date to the prom.
Well, it's just high classified information. This really isn't the proper form to talk about that. If I wanted to talk about that right now, I'd probably have to.
You could tell us, but you have to kill us?
Exactly, exactly. And, you know, it's just, you know, right now is not the time to talk about that. When, you know, maybe a few years down the road, we're able to disclose some of that information.
He's just upset because we had better highlights all year.
See, this is the kind of stuff we had. What's it like when you're out? I'm trapped in the skybox most of the night, but when you guys are out there actually at the game sites, does it get kind of wild? Is it fun?
That's the best part, just because you got the fans. I mean, the high school football atmosphere is unbelievable. You have these dedicated fans there, some great football. One game I remember is just the Highland Home Laverne game. I was talking to Coach Gids about that earlier today. Just the excitement down there. Highland Home hadn't beaten them in a while, in a long time, and they beat them. And just the excitement from the fans there, just the passion these people have for high school football is unbelievable.
And when they see your yellow shirts, you guys are quite a hit with the little ones. One time you were signing paper plates.
Yeah, I was signing autographs, and they didn't have anything, and they wanted me to sign their hand. I'm like, I'm not going to sign a human hand. It's just not going to happen. So the kid ran and got a paper plate from the concession stand. They just love WSFA. They love the Fever, and they love what we do every Friday night.
And we love them, and we appreciate
no doubt about
appreciate everybody who supports their local high school teams, and appreciate everyone who comes home after a hard night of high school football and then watches the Fever on WSFA. And one more thing about when Jen surprised you at that game, caught me off guard too. I was reacting to the way you were reacting, and I laughed.
I almost vomited.
And I laughed just like my Aunt Marilyn.
Yeah,
kind of wacky.
I got a kick out of that. Yeah, I have no idea why I got I got a little emotional there at the end, just because it was such a touching moment. But then I curled over like I was sick. It was I mean, it was a wild night, because remember, that was the same night that Nathan Dillard got the Ross Award, and so it was just a crazy night. It was the last Fever, and so it was awesome.
I think you were just glad that you didn't turn around and see Eddie Lucky in a dress.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. When we come back, we're going to take a musical look back at some of the highs and some of the big hits on Fever Country this year. Stick around. And welcome back to our Best of the Fever special. Guys, we saw a lot of great football players this year. I'm going to put you on the spot. The best player you saw, Todd Rossnagel, when you're out in the Wiregrass Bureau, who was it this year?
Boy, I tell you, that's a tough decision. But I'm going to have to go with Bo Daniels from Brantley. He, absolutely fantastic player. He had 22 touchdowns on the year. He touched the ball offensively 247 times. I'm sure he caught a few more passes, but 2,040 yards. Unbelievable. This is the state championship. They used him as a decoy. Talk about guts. Your best player and some other guy runs in to win the state championship. Bo Daniels, 185 pounds, and he is only a junior. That's right, folks, a junior. He is going to be back next year, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him next year. And I wonder about Brantley, whether they're going to, how many players they're going to lose. Maybe they're going to be defending their 1A championship with one of the best running backs in the state.
Well, you have Bo Daniels coming back, then you're in good shape right there. Gutsy call by Roland Jones Jr., the son of the head coach, Brantley's offensive coordinator. You know the defense is keying on
No doubt.
Bo Daniels. What does he do? Hand it off for the reverse and stroll in for the winning touchdown.
Gutsy call, but it worked. So.
That's right. Lee, how about it? Best player you saw this year?
Todd's going to go with an all-Fever selection. I'm going to go with a two-time all-Fever selection. That big tight end from Jeff Davis, Robert Johnson. This guy is a player. The big tight end, he's committed to Auburn, so this guy says he'll probably go play football for Auburn next season, but he wrapped up his career at Jeff Davis right now. Look at this guy catch. He's a big guy. He's got some speed. He can just plain flat run over you if he wants to. Watch this play right here, the pass to Robert Johnson, and watch him just run over a couple of these players right here. And how good of an athlete is this guy? They actually had him play some quarterback at the end of the season. I think you're going to see this coming up right now. So there he is, throwing the pass. So Robert Johnson, the tight end. And hey, if Gabe Gross gets hurt at Auburn or something, you never know. We can see him at quarterback. So definitely a lot of good players out there, Jeff, but I think Robert Johnson is the best one I saw out there this year.
Well, remember, Leonardo Carson was also a high school quarterback and now a
yeah.
defensive lineman, and so Robert Johnson, maybe he can play a little tight end and play a little quarterback over on the Plains. Well, I don't want to get too far from the skybox on Friday night, so I covered a lot of St. Jude games, kind of not too far from WSFA, and I saw the Hooper Colts play a lot, and they both have some outstanding players. But one night out at Crampton Bowl this year, I saw another player who wears the same number as Bo Daniels, number 2, the Deuce, and he is Keldrick Williams. He's a 10th grader, and look at some of the moves this guy has. Did not begin the season as a starter. One of the starters got hurt early on, and then Keldrick got an opportunity, and he made the most of that opportunity. Week after week, he's breaking off long runs, and he's got 2 more years on the Fever. He won't be a high school graduate until the year 2001, so he's going to be with us for quite a while. And once he gets out in the open, you weren't going to catch him until he'd reeled off a lot of yardage. And he's got the instincts. He's running the ball to the left. If he cuts back to the right, just like that, the ball is in his right hand. Stuff that you can't teach, that you can only just be thankful for that you have it. And I think this is the run where he does that. Look at him shift the ball into the other hand. And a big run for Keldrick Williams and the Lanier Poets. So those are our top 3 on Fever Country. The players get a lot of attention, and rightfully so. But you know what? Starting in the summer, in those hot days, the band is out there working just as hard. And this time, we head to the Lanier High School with one of our Ken Folk segments from our friend Ken Smith. If you want to strike up the band, you got to put in the work.
From his vantage point, band director Charles Cooper sees everything like a hawk.
Right hand. No, I'm talking about, yes, ma'am, 25.
Belting out orders, sounding more like a drill sergeant than a band director.
We got some trumpets that are not parallel to the ground.
But then again, this is almost like basic training. A lot of drill and ceremony, long hours, and plenty of sweat.
It's actually a 10-day session, Monday through Friday for 10-day weekdays from 7:30 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. But they understand it and they want to be good, so they pay the price.
And if you want to be good on this field of musical dreams, you gotta have the stamina of a long-distance runner and the quick footwork of a running back, knowing when to zig when others are zagging. But sometimes the new kids on the block who aren't up to speed can throw a formation in jeopardy.
We normally pick up a few more than we lose, so you know, the band has continued to grow, and hopefully in quality as well as in numbers.
Thank you.
The Sidney Lanier High School Band. Some of our musically talented kinfolk.
And they got to perform at the Georgia Dome this year. Quite a thrill for them. Todd Rossnagel, Lee Zirk, always, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you on Fever 99 next fall. There you go. Producer Jared Smith is the man who put this masterpiece together. We'd like to thank him for his efforts. And Mark Garrison, our Fever editor, put together a little musical treat here at the end. Thanks for watching. See you next year.